Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's August 9th, 2020, and late yesterday afternoon, I did get the GoPro Karma out to go down to the beaver ponds so we can try and get some aerial footage. Now, before I had taken it out, having trouble with the gimbal on it, the thing that maintains the stable look of images, doing well. It's actually doing a lot of vibrating. And so there is some vibration in this video, and it's very overcast, and I was quite nervous because I didn't know if the drone would end up failing on me and falling into the water. But what will follow is some drone footage of the pond area. We'll start off on the lower dam excess area that I've been building. We'll drive over the lower pond that the beaver built, and then we'll cross over the upper dam, which you'll ultimately be able to see some of the excess road that I started. And then you'll be able to, we'll slide a little bit to the right side of the screen and look at the Chinampa area. We won't get too close to that area. We'll pan around and look at the greater scape of the large part of the pond, of which we own about a third of the whole pond. And then we'll go back over the dams, and you'll be able to see where the trails in the waterways where the beavers pass through all the time. And then we'll pan it up towards uphill, which is going north, and we'll briefly take a look at where the house and solar panels and the food forest are up above there. And then we'll fly a little bit over some of the access roads as well. So that's what you'll see in this. It's not the best footage. I've done better footage in the past, but I'm a bit nervous about flying this at this point, and I'm out of practice as well. So I'll see if I can figure out what's going on with the gimbal and all, and hopefully we'll be able to shoot some better videos in the future. So here we go. Here's the footage of shot by the drone yesterday, August 8th, 2020. Take care, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now. Oh, don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you think this video is of value. It helps us out on our channel. Take care. Bye-bye now. Okay, we're down here at the location of the lower dam. The upper dam is to the left of the screen, but we're just flying out here with the GoPro Karma drone. A few years old. First time I got this drone out, well, the second time I got this drone out, I had lots of problems and errors and all, so I had to do some resetting of the drone. And you may be able to notice that some of the treetops are shaking some, so there's a rattle in the system. I've got to figure this out. I've looked online and can't find anything. So here we are. This is the location where the beaver in the previous video was swimming around, and now we're flying over the pond area that is the lower pond, and we're coming up on the dam for the upper pond. So this is about 5 foot higher in elevation, and we're just flying out over the pond. This is still on our property at this location. We'll turn around in a minute and look around. These trees are a bit taller than what the drone's flying at, and there's no obstacle avoidance on this particular drone, so I'm going up above these dead tree levels here. And I'm panning back so you can see this is the upper dam, and if you follow that dam you can see some dirt on the surface of it there on the left of the screen, and that's where I've been working recently, where it's quite deep there, and I'm actually running out of soil or dirt to fill into these areas. So we're just above the treetops, coming in some, and if you look at the top of the screen, there is a location where there's the access roads that goes through the woods. We'll see a little bit more of it in a moment, but this is the upper dam that I've been working on, and now we can see both the upper dam and the lower dam. So the upper dam is in the foreground, and the lower dam is in the background back there. So It's overcast here, and unfortunately a little too overexposed when I'm showing too much sky. So now I'm just going to head and moving the drone to the right of the screen, and right over on the right side of the screen, well, about mid-screen right now actually, is where the Chinampa area is, and that's where the solar water pump will end up going, right ahead of us now. Almost center screen, just left of center screen. Now we're panning around. Out in the distance, center screen, is the beaver den. You can see the trails that the beaver follows regularly. And we're looking back now at the upper dam, with the water that doesn't have the plankton on it right now is rather clear, or murky rather. Now we're heading towards the upper dam. You can see where it heads off into the woods on the other side of the dam there. So I'm not as far as I'd like to be. Looking down now, unfortunately with the cloud cover and the resolution of this camera, can't really see through this area. And I wish I had rotated the camera a little bit more to help orient. But now we're coming right up over the upper dam. You see some ripples there. That's one of the places that the beaver's in and out of all the time. So on the right of the screen you can see where I've been working, extending, building an access road there. Big drop off in that area. Hard to appreciate from here. And in a minute I'll start to slightly pan the camera up some, and you can see more of the extent of the upper dam. And now you can see the lower dam in the background back there. You see where it heads over into the woods. So the goal is to get right around that curve there, which I won't get to this year, but hopefully as I dig ponds and all, I'll free up more dirt that I can use to make these access roads. So just passing over the upper dam now. Now I'm going over the lower pond and almost to the lower dam now. And now you can see, so a lot of this, let's say the first 2/3 of this is still our property here. But you can see, I think I go up in elevation here in a moment. Unfortunately, I get too much of the sky and the frame is a bit overexposed. So I'm climbing in elevation, so I'm going up over the treetops. And you can see how you may be able to make out in the distance there was another dam there that someone took out on me. And then there's dam down on the lower property. In a minute here, we're spinning up, and our house and solar panels are straight ahead, right in that location right there. Really quick zoom in and out, but there's access roads all throughout these wooded areas, which is darn near impossible to see. And I am a bit nervous with the drone acting up. Now you can see the beaver den in the distance out there. As I'm turning around the wooded area, small forested area that isn't underwater there. And the beaver make their way up and down through these little access paths all the time. They're constantly moving up and down in here. And they're constantly going over the dams. You can see their little tracks where they're going over it and all. So I'm coming back down in altitude now, and we're actually going to go fly over this lower dam area that I'm working on here. But when you saw in the last video of the work on the access road along this dam, that's where I was, right below where we are right now. I do love the wetland areas. They're drastically underappreciated for all of the benefits that they offer us. So again, I'm just panning around here to look at the area. We're on top of or just over the lower pond, and you might be able to appreciate the change in height of the upper pond. Now that's an access road that you can see in the background there. This is the location where I see the small beaver swimming around all the time. We'll be going over by the muddy area that we can see them. Sorry it takes me so long to manipulate around here. I'm trying to see in my screen on the controller just where I am. So now we're going to come down where I'm trying to get below some of the side branches of these trees and head towards Pepe there on the access road, and then we'll fly around this lower access road and go over to the upper dam area. Unfortunately, this Karma doesn't have any object avoidance system sensors on it, so I have to be really aware of where everything is, and I use this so infrequently that I don't feel confident flying this around and not smashing it or crashing it, especially when it's over water or up high in the branches. So to the right of the screen is part of the lower pond. Lots of beautiful muck in there, but this is the location where I see the small beaver swimming around quite a bit, diving in and out of all of that green foliage right ahead of us there. In the canal system, I forgot to mention, I see quite a few bass in there. So they're definitely in the lower pond. I know there's the upper pond has lots of fish in that area, and certainly an abundance of other wildlife. We do hear the fishers in this area. We hear the mink. I mean, I've seen the mink, certainly the turtles, two different types of water snakes that I've seen, the banded water snake and another long, slender water snake as well. I'm not sure what species that is. I haven't actually had my hands on one yet. They're awfully fast, these buggers are. So we're flying over one of the access roads. This is the area that I'm just developing now, and we're going to turn to our right. Unfortunately, some of this hugelkultur soil is going to kick up because it's all too dry. So when soil is either dirt is either too dry or too wet, there's challenges getting it to compact. And that's slowed me down as far as working on this area because the mini excavator starts to sink in. So right now we're over the upper dam and the access road that I've been working on right here. The battery's getting pretty low in the drone, so I'm not going to go too far here. But you probably saw in the last video being out in this area. And we're going to go back to where the Chinampa area is here in a moment. Going to back up, get back out over the access road, try and avoid some of these trees here and some of the lower limbs. Have to readjust. There's a tree there. Objects are closer than they appear on the screen. Now, there's two trees dead ahead of us that we're about to go between. That whole area is where I took all the stones from that stone pile that I excavated recently and put soil, some of the hugelkultur soil on the surface of it. But all of those boulders have been sunken down into the muck of the area that we're flying over right now. So I've used two of those large stone piles taken from the woods. So this is the area where the Chinampa is. You may be able to see the pipe out of the coming up out of the water, so I'm almost to that pipe. I've got to take down the dead trees around here, because if I am going to install the solar panels here, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm going to go over here now and land the drone on one of the concrete pads that I brought down here a few years ago. So there's one of the access roads dead ahead of us that you've seen us drive Pepe out of as well.